So just like everybody else in the world, all that I can think about the past few days is Charlie Kirk. And, it took me some time to kind of understand why. But I feel like I get it. And I feel like I know why we all feel the same way. And was just thinking all this time, why are we all so devastated by it? Why do we all feel like there's just this insane darkness over the entire country? Every group that I speak to, it doesn't matter who they are, every single group that I speak to in my circle feels the same way. And we have to understand why we feel like we all just lost a good friend. I think my initial reaction was, we lost. We lost the battle. That shot was a silencing shot. It was them telling us, you're not allowed to say certain things, and we're not going to let you say certain things. So initially, it feels like defeat. It's like, what do we do now? You've silenced the voices of all these people. There technically is no free speech. It's not free speech. It's anything but free, right? So it feels like defeat. And for the first 2 days, I'm just sitting there. I can't even focus on anything. I'm just sad. And seems to me like that's how everybody else felt too. And then another day goes by, and you start digging into everything and seeing what everybody else is saying and seeing what all the lunatics are saying online. And my sadness just completely turned into anger. Now I'm angry. Who are these people? What do they want? Why are we in this position? Why is this what America has become? In what world do you see Americans celebrating the assassination of a public figure? Only this time in America has something like this ever happened. Do you think when JFK was eliminated, people were cheering the streets? People were going out, talking down about his wife, about his kids? People were making fun of them? He deserved it because of this. Yeah, today's a good day for America. No, they weren't. Maybe there were some idiots privately thinking that, and they didn't dare to speak up. But there's no shame in America anymore. There's all these people that have zero shame, that have zero empathy, zero sympathy, zero anything for anybody. They just think, oh, somebody died, woohoo, yip-de-doo. And I'm happy with what's going on now. I'm happy with the response to these people. Because this time it feels like we're not letting anybody get away with it anymore. Take a look at all these morons talking about, oh, he deserved it because his violent rhetoric. He espoused violent rhetoric. His rhetoric was so violent. Now let's break this down for a second. Any person that I've seen online that is saying Charlie Kirk deserved it is basically saying those exact words. They're saying something along the lines of, he was not a good person and the things that he said were violent. Now, the key word here is rhetoric. So you mean to tell me that you're admitting that you believe he deserved to die because of words? That's the first part of this, right? The rhetoric, that's the key word. So you believe that he deserves to die because of words. Now, secondly, they'll say, oh, well, it was violent. Well, what was violent about what he was doing? Publicly debating people, no weapons used, no physical harm done to anybody, and yet they say that he's violent. Now, the last time I had ever felt any sort of grief like this over a public figure that I don't know personally was when Mac Miller died. Now, of course, we're talking about two separate deaths entirely. The root cause of the sadness is the loss of potential. You see where he was headed. You see what he was doing. You see the amazing things that he was going to be capable of. And then that's abruptly cut short, just out of nowhere. In this case, it's cut short out of nowhere because some idiot decided that he wanted it to end. And that was it. And we can't do anything about it. He is gone. Potential future president someday. All the wisdom that he had by the age of 31. Imagine by the time he's 40 and by the time he's 50. All of the change that he would have implemented into this country, just into the minds of everybody. All of it was good. All of it is what the majority, the silent majority of people want. Every idea that he had is what the general population wants for America. And that's why this hurts so much, because they just took away somebody that was a voice for the people. I haven't felt compelled to do a video on YouTube for quite some time. If you look at my last video, it's probably a year ago or something. But I just feel like I can't stay quiet about this. It reminds me of this time back when I was in law school. It was 2015. Rick Santorum, I don't remember when he ran. It might have been 2012 or something. Maybe it was 2016. I don't know. But I'd gone to a talk that he did because I was invited because I was interning with this law firm at the time. And, you know, he played this documentary about the way America is shifting, and he did this talk after. And the one thing that stuck with me forever, he was so upset about what was happening in the country at the time, so upset with the way liberals were getting their way on every single thing. He screamed into the microphone, "They don't quit. They don't quit. And he's right. Liberals and leftists don't quit. They get whatever they want every step of the way because they're extremely, extremely violent people. And we as a country all know that now. There's no hiding this anymore. They are the party of violence. These people want America to be something that it is not. They want America to be something completely different than what it is. It's an America that doesn't exist and should never exist. And we should never let them have it. And this now is our time not to quit. This is where the conservatives and the right and the people that understand true American values are not supposed to quit. And I feel like it's happening. I feel like for the first time ever, you have people that are speaking out that never would have spoken out before. You have people with platforms of 10 followers, 100 followers, 1,000 followers, 10 million followers, all speaking out because everybody is pissed off. And this is what opened my eyes, right? Charlie Kirk's death opened my eyes completely, and immediately I understood, right when I found out that he died, this is a massive, massive battle. This is no longer what we used to think it was. What we used to think this was happening in America was this. There are progressives that want some slight change. They want things to go their way, and they just want us to accept them for who they are. That is absolutely false. This is what's really happening in America, and it took Charlie Kirk dying for me to fully understand this. There is America and what it was, and there are people in America that think they're Americans, that want something completely and totally different than what we are. And I do not stand in solidarity with any of them. Anybody that thinks that there are more than two genders, anybody that thinks that you should force children to learn about sex when they're 5 years old, anybody that thinks that it's okay to teach children gay sex in schools, anybody that thinks you should be mandating vaccines for all, you do not belong here. I want nothing to do with you, and I will stand up against every single one of these people. Anybody that thinks it's okay to celebrate the assassination of a widely beloved public figure, you do not belong here. You don't belong in this country, and you need to go. Something needs to happen. Something needs to change. We are not going to back down to these people anymore. We're done. Yes, Habibi. And it's not just Charlie Kirk anymore. They're making fun of his wife. They're talking down on his kids, babies. These are people that don't like family. They can't stand the family. They can't stand anybody that has a good family. They can't stand anybody that comes from normal backgrounds. These are people that want unlimited abortions. They want the government to raise your children. They want your children to mutilate themselves when they're 12 years old so they can no longer have children or have a future in their life ever. These are people that are evil. We are not fighting left and right anymore. We are fighting good versus evil. And now we have people on Blue Sky and Reddit, basement dwellers, disgusting, vile people that are calling for the deaths of people like Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, J.K. Rowling, because she doesn't believe that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. Ben Shapiro. They're calling for the deaths of any conservative figure that is saying anything that they don't like. That's the message here. You say something we don't like, and we want to kill you. That's what their message is. And I'm done pretending that it's not. Now we know how these people react when a conservative dies. Now we know how these people react when somebody they don't like is killed. In the most horrifying way, by the way. We all saw the video, and I think that's another reason why we're all so devastated by it. It was such a gruesome death. We all know what happened. And these people still celebrate publicly. And the good news is this. Now, for the first time ever, everybody is fighting back. People that are posting online are getting fired, as they deserve to. Business owners that are excited and happy that Charlie Kirk died are now getting filled with one-star reviews on every single one of their business, as they should. You are anti-American. You don't belong here. The pushback has to be extremely strong, but it has to be done in our fashion. Because conservatives don't riot and loot and burn things down the way that the liberals do whenever anything goes wrong. We don't do stuff like that. We have to fight back in our own way. And we will, because we're sick of this. Everybody knows that if Obama had been assassinated during his presidency, even now, even if it happened today, not a single person would ever publicly display any thoughts of happiness, because conservatives are normal people. And we would say, this is a massive tragedy, as it would be. as it is for Charlie Kirk. We are not dealing with normal people, though. We're dealing with evil that has infiltrated our country, and they need to go. So my message now basically is this. Never, ever forget the way that these people reacted. Never forget the words they are saying. Never forget what they think of you and what they think of me and what they would gladly do to all of us who have a voice. It's time to push back hard, and we're not going to let these disgusting, vile people win and take over our country. They are done. We are done.